Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Start with Nina. Nina's working overtime at this point. Okay? Because Jax is sitting there asking questions about Sonny, talking about he keeps thinking about he could have swore he saw him and everything like that, but it can't be because he's dead. Now when Phyllis comes in the room and Jax is sitting there talking about bringing this Mike character or whatever, because Phyllis is like, another gunman came in and Mike stopped them, and Jack's like, oh, who's this Mike character? And now Nina's like, oh, it's just some guy, it's just some random guy or whatever. At this point, the look on Nina's face is just priceless. That dumbfounded look, like she knows she's about to get caught doing something just bad. Cause let's be honest. Listen, no matter how you feel about Carly, you're not just doing this to Carly, you're doing this to Carly's kids. I mean, you're doing this to Sonny's kids and his grandkids. So at this point, she's working hella hard between trying to make sure that, Jax doesn't get too suspicious, going outside and talking to Mike and making sure he doesn't come in there. Um, just, I'm just like, Nina, how are you doing this? How are you keeping up this balance in that? Because Sonny's like, hey, I just want to see how your friend's doing and, what's going on. I mean, I could be a bodyguard and everything like that, but she is just trying her damnedest to make sure that Sonny doesn't get inside. So finally, when Sonny leaves, Nina talks to Jax again, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, because I just lost track of time at this point, Jax is like, listen, here's the thing. Come back to Port Charles. There's a good chance I'll talk to Michael that you can, have a place in Wiley's life again. So now she has this look on her face, and I'm just like, so you can go to Port Charles, spend time with your grandchild. The only catch is that the jig is up, and you're gonna have to sit there and fess up, which is not gonna work out. So now, what you gonna do? Now what you gonna do? Or you just think you're just gonna go back to Port Charles, everything's gonna be cool? Like, no. No. But at this point, Nina deserves all of this. All of it. Sonny's outside, he's practically wants to barge in, but Phyllis is like, you don't want to sit there and hover and stuff like that. So they want to go back to the town home. But of course Phyllis has to sit there and butt her nose into Nina's business, like Nina isn't a grown ass woman and can't sit there and fend off Jax, herself. And I don't understand this. Why is she doing this? Why is she talking to Jax like, oh well, Nina's happy here and you can't drag her back and all this other stuff like that. It's like Nina can fight her own battles. Okay? Like she can fight her own battles. She's good. I know this is partly for the fact that she's trying to make out for a wrong that she made in the past with Nina as far as her child and everything like that. But like, yo, don't you have like a marriage and a bar to run, and now you're sitting there running affairs with Nina like she's some 12-year-old girl that's like, her boyfriend's being super obsessive or whatever. So I guess we'll see about that. Let's talk about Dante for a minute. I was thinking about this last night and mostly this morning when I was at work. Here's the thing. From the time that Dante has gotten back, I've been sitting there asking myself, what is your purpose here? Now, a lot of people wanted Dante to come back, and to be honest, the way he left was just so... But now he's back, and of course, Lulu's not there anymore because, well, they practically more or less kicked the actress to the curve, and so now it's just like, what is Dante's point of being there? Because he's not a cop. He doesn't know if he wants to go back to being a cop. He got fired from being security, with Peter, and now he's just kind of just what? Like, what is he doing? He's just hanging out at the Quartermain's house and just kind of just like, what is his role at this point? I know down the line they're gonna sit there and pair him out with Sam because you can tell by this conversation that Dante's having with Sam that that's what they're trying to do. That's good. The whole hand holding thing. They're talking about Maxie, the best way to help her, and then they're talking about Dante and how you can't trust yourself. And this whole conversation, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it was just like, because Dante was sitting there asking Sam, could you sit there and help out Maxie because you and her are so good friends. And I'm sitting there thinking, are they? Like, really? Because they don't really share a lot of screen time. Like, not really. The type of screen time that I would sit there and think that friends would sit there and share, but they really don't. But according to Dante, they're really good friends. I don't really understand how they're really good friends, but okay, sure. I think more acquaintances, but whatever. Besides that, I'm not gonna lie, this whole conversation was just like, And I just felt like watching this scene just really, like, when I was thinking about last night, as far as the whole Dante thing, I'm just like, why? What is his purpose? Are you gonna give this guy something to do or something? I mean, don't get me wrong, they gave him something to do when he was trying to kill Peter and everything like that, when he was coming back and the PTSD and everything like that. I thought that was pretty interesting with Lulu and everything like that. But then after that, it was just like, then I guess they were supposed to have some sort of love triangle between Lulu and Dustin, but of course that didn't work out because, well, again, GH decided to just say bye to the both of them. So at this point, again, what the hell is Dante's purpose? I thought a really interesting conversation, or at least part of the thing that was kind of interesting, was the Valentine and Alexis stuff. Because when Valentine walked in, he was asking, like, how you doing and everything like that, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, what's going on? And, Alexis like, oh, it's 100. It's much worse than I expected it to be. It's much worse than the jail coach, like, told me about. And I'm sitting there thinking, Alexis, what did you think jail was actually gonna be like? Like, I'm like, it's jail. It's jail. Okay? Just think of the worst place on earth and then just add like 10 or 5 more years. Like, I don't understand. She's talking about, oh, it's so bad here and it's scary. It's scary. Okay. So, after I finished laughing at that conversation, the only thing that really happened was, Valentine was just pretty much sitting there telling Alexis to let let her girls in, to be there for her, to support her and everything like that, and they can kind of just do each other some good. And honestly, tell you the truth, listen, don't know why I was reaching for a cap that wasn't there. Valentine, as far as like Valentine Alexis scenes, has been really good because Valentine has just been giving out just like amazing advice, like just stellar advice. Like, as far as like them like being a good friend for Alexis, Valentine, out of all people, especially given how he came in and the circumstances, and of course, him shooting her nephew out of a window, they've managed to become good friends. Still don't wonder how she actually got over that, but you know what? It works, so I'm not going to argue. So, let's quickly talk about Olivia, because maybe it's just this episode, this scenes, or this particular scene, but after Olivia was not there hovering and talking to, pretty much telling Brooklyn about what she overheard with Maxie at the gravesite, Brooklyn gets an idea, and she's all like, oh, because, Olivia is doing her usual hovering again and everything like that, but then after she talks about Maxie, Brooklyn's like, oh, cool, all right. And then she takes her advice and everything like that. She's like, all right, I'm gonna go and get vitamins and stuff like that. So she just kind of just leaves. And then Olivia goes to see Dante. She sees Dante and Sam. And when Sam leaves, Olivia's like, oh, the conversation sounds serious. What y'all talking about? And I'm just not there thinking, Olivia, okay, I don't even know where to start first. From the fact that and granted, she's been doing this for a while, okay? The whole hovering over Dante, treating him like he's like a 12-year-old kid. But now she's like, oh, so, what are y'all talking about? I'm like, Olivia, don't you got some business to mind or half of a hotel to run or, I don't know, maybe like try to save your marriage or go on a date or something? Like, I just feel like sometimes, like especially in this, and granted, she was actually had something to do, and I do remember that they're talking about that. As far as when she was with Robert, she was doing stuff, she was on an adventure. You know, you kind of got to see a different side of her, and she was actually happy. And I remember her saying that she wasn't just a mom and a wife and everything like that. And I'm like, listen, you can still be a mom and I guess a wife if you want to, but like this whole hovering over Brooklyn and hovering over, you know, Dante is like, can't you like do something else? I mean, she's literally sitting there pouring drinks with Dante and stuff like that, and I'm just like, listen, don't get me wrong, seeing your son is great, and you know having that bond and everything like that, but it just seems like you like, are you bored or something? Like, I know maybe it's just maybe I sound a little mean, but I just I don't know. So we're gonna get to the Jesus Christ. We're gonna get to the Anna and Finn portion of the story because well Anna was pretty much trying to get the 1 second. Anna was not just trying to get the well part of the antidote from Peter. Which Peter at this point is just in full James Bond villain mode. You know, he's just smiling and grinning and everything like that, and you know, he's just gloating at this point. So finally he gives Anna the antidote and he's like, oh, well, I hope he makes it. I mean, good luck with traffic and everything. So she runs out the door. And once again, Peter continues to act like a damn creep at this point. Okay, he acts like a creep. He's all like, like, what's going on? You wanna get a live-in nurse to sit there and monitor you, or I can be here. You know, it could be like old times, like me and James and everything like that. And I know that doesn't do good for her plan, but I'm sitting there thinking, at the very least, is she just afraid? Because I mean, like, is she afraid of him actually living there and like wooing her? I guess because listen, Peter may be a lot of things, but he hasn't been seen like trying to kill children or anything like that. So, like, I just anyway, he pretty much gives her two options: either he can stay there, or a living nurse can stay there. And well, Maxie chooses the live-in nurse, which, by the way, they were going to sit there and continue to have their conversation, but Brooklyn showed up, and Peter was being hella rude, talking about, don't you call or anything like that? Bro, seriously? Like, I'm just not there thinking at this point, I was like, Peter is so far gone from reality, because on what planet does he actually sit there and think that this sort of behavior, this sort of obsessive behavior, is actually going to get her back? And somehow, every time he sits there and talks to her, he's like, oh, you know, we're going to do stuff with the baby, this, that, and the third. And she's like, yeah, yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, bro, you actually believe her? Because either one, you believe her, and that's scary, or you don't believe her, and you're still doing this, which is, well, just as equally as scary. And I don't. I understand. I really understand it. Anyway, he leaves. And, well, at this point, Brooklyn's not there talking to Maxie. And Brooklyn goes, like, around, like, it's like trying to ask for something, but she doesn't ask it directly. She goes all around, like in circles and everything like that. And at this point, Maxie's like, listen, just say what you gotta say. Like, what do you want? And I think at this point, and you see in the next episode of previews, that this is gonna be the plan for him. You know, this is gonna be where Brooklyn, Sister and leads her to plan as far as giving the baby to her, faking the death and everything like that, and whatever. I don't understand why I didn't get to part of it in this scene. You know, because the only thing that we left off was Brooklyn was like, well, it's not so much as, what I need from you is how we can help each other. And Max is like, the hell are you talking about? So now they're going to wait into the next episode to sit there and show that. And I can't but help sit there and think, if you didn't spend so much time on this, and I'm going to sit there and say, on this pointless scene between Sam and Dante, we might have actually got to this part a little faster. But I guess they're trying to build up this slow romantic tension between those two. So yeah, I guess that's cool. So anyway, Anna goes to the hospital to give the antidote, or the partial antidote to Chase. Meanwhile, Chase is seizing. He is getting hella worse, and Willow's outside. Anna comes in time to give him the drug. Now, when Finn is they're putting the drug into the IV, Liz is they're looking like, what's going on, After Chase is saved, Liz walks up to Finn and is like, yo, so what's going on? Like, and I mean, well, actually no, she doesn't walk up to him right away. She walks up to him in the next episode. She just looks. And I can't but help to then think, like, Liz, why are you being so damn nosy into, like, what was the cure that saved Chase? Like, that's between him and his brother or his son now at this point. Like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, I don't understand that. Even before, when Liz was like, so what are you hiding from, what are you now sitting there telling Chase? I'm like, part of me, I'm not going to sit there and lie. Part of me wants to sit there and say, none of your goddamn business. But since she is assisting him, yeah, maybe on some level, maybe I guess she kind of needs to know. Maybe. Finn and Anna talk real quick, but pretty much, Finn is very thankful. He wants to sit there and say thank you, but Anna's just like, yo, I did this. Like, this is all on me. And you know what, to be honest, I know, like, I've been giving her a lot of smoke, and a lot of people have been giving her a lot of smoke, but at least she is owning up to the fact that all of this stuff, right then and there, is her fault. It is her fault. So, I can't sit there and pile any more crap on her than she's already given herself. And, by the look on her face, she seems like she's, giving herself a lot of crap. Sam does wind up, Valentine texts Sam to sit there and say, come and see your mom or whatever. So Sam does wind up seeing Alexis, and, Peter runs into Valentine. They kind of exchange some words. Nothing really major. Yeah, nothing really major. I mean, Peter at this point is just gloating. Every single chance he gets between Anna and Valentine, he's gonna gloat. He's always sitting there gloating at the fact that, like, oh, you can't be her white knight, and I'm sitting there laughing and smiling, and I'm just like, all right, Peter, so you're just gonna I don't even know what to say at this point with Peter, I mean, I guess he's just enjoying his victory dance, and, even with Anna was like, all right, you won, you outmaneuvered me. I don't know if that was, like, somewhat trying to get into Peter's head. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think that's actually about it. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty much kind of covers it. Every time I always sit there and do these reviews, I'm always sitting there thinking, did I miss something? I'm also sitting there thinking for the past couple of days, Well, I guess I'm gonna have to throw out that cake and start again. But yeah, so by the way, if anyone is going on Brock TV's reviews, I've been going on there every now and then, leaving little cake emojis. So if you see me in the comment section, you know what it is. But yes, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Not gonna lie, this episode wasn't great, wasn't like terrible. Oh, and there was some scenes with Willow and Willow. There was some scenes with Willow and Chase, and then there was a scene with like Willow and Anna, and like Willow asked like Anna like, "Oh, like you must still love Finn or something like that," and I was just like, "Where did that come from?" Like I understand that they were both worried and they were like kind of emotional and everything like that, but just the fact that Willow was just like, you must feel something for Finn or whatever, and it's just like, oh, it's none of my business or anything like that. And I'm like, it really wasn't none of your business. Why did you bring that up? Like, what was the point of that? Anyway, for some odd reason, I feel like I missed something else, but I can't think of it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will catch you in the next review.